What's up, guys? I'm here with Aaron and his top 8 blurple, purple, I don't know what you call it,
Best color.
Digimon deck from recent Golden Phoenix Games release series event that took place in February. You want to tell us about the event?
Yeah, it was by, like you said, Golden Phoenix Gaming. Then Kissimmee, Florida. If you haven't checked them out on their Facebook page, go ahead and check them out. They're pretty chill guys. The event went really well, in my opinion. We had 24 players for this one. It was a cash tournament. We also top 8 got play match, as you can see. Like I said, 24 players. We did top 8, just say the split because it was a long day. So we all got equal payout. So it was a pretty good event. I went X2. I lost my last 2 rounds. I made a pretty bad misplay on, was it round 5? We had 6 rounds. Round 5 against an Omni Blue player, game 3, I made a misplay that I realized that I should have done after I did my turn. I should have crossed my retaliation guys into his Omnimon and Pale Shieldmon, but I ended up losing that one. And then I lost to Rookie Rush. That's just a bad matchup for me.
But it didn't really matter in the end that you dropped a couple matches because
I was
you
still
got
gonna
top
get
8.
Yeah, I was still gonna get top 8, but that deck's annoying, but it's really good. So I still have to give it the props that it deserves. But
all right, so let's see your deck list here.
Okay. All right, so starting off with the eggs, we're playing the standard for what's his name? Pagumon. On attack, you trash the top card of your deck because you're playing purple. You use your trash as your whole resource. So, and then we played the one Yamon. This is pretty much the standard for purple until 1.5, which I mean that's out this weekend. But so this whole deck is gonna change, but this deck was still super fun to play with. For rookies, I only did 2 Demimons for the vanillas because it's the cheap 2 costs to just play. You're gonna choke your opponent out with memory. I kind of wanted to put it to 3, but it didn't really make a difference during that weekend. Only playing it at 2, so 2 to 3 copies I think is pretty good for this card. And then one of the key cards to your deck is Itmon. We played 4 Itmon. On deletion, you trash the top 3 cards of your deck. So he's like one of your main ways to get your cards into your trash so that you can salvage them back and everything. Because you want to get at least 10 cards in your trash just for like certain effects that you play. Then we play 4 Tapirmons. This card is really good. You just, on deletion, draw a card. So you play it next turn, you just swing. If it dies, you get your value out of it. And then 4 Gabumon. This card is ridiculous. Out of the rookies, I think this guy is my favorite one. His inheritable skill on deletion, draw 2, ditch 1. So that's it for the rookies. We play 14 rookies. On to our champions. I play 3 Wizardmon. I originally had him at 2, and then I didn't really see champions enough, so I decided to bump him to 3, and I'm really glad that I did. He does the same as Tapirmon. You just swing, let him die, you draw a card. And then if you have a yellow card, he gets retaliation, which we do play 1 yellow card in this deck, which we'll get to later on. But he's another one of your draw power, another way to fuel your drop. The 4 blockers, 4 Valmon, standard. The only blocker we got, so we're going to play him. 4 Devimon, because Devimon just has retaliation, and then he gives retaliation for an inheritable skill. This card's just good. You just drop him, swing into something to crash that's a threat to you, like Omnimon or anything like that. The card's just super good. The ability retaliation is just super good in general. For our ultimates, we play 1 ultimate. All we play is Chimeramon. It's the only one I think you really need right now until you start doing 1.5 stuff. On play, delete one of your guys, destroy your opponent's level 5 or lower. So you just delete any of your guys that have on deletion effects, so you get the plus off of it, and you're killing a dude. So that, and it's easy to go into your megas the next turn after just playing them. Onto the Megas. We're playing one Lilithmon. After the event, I decided that I would just take this card out. It only came up one time out of all of my matches that I brought it out to where it was useful. I would either take this out for a third Digimon or a fourth copy of another card that we'll get onto later on. But when you Digivolve, you have 10 more in trash, you get 2 option cards back, and you gain 2 memory once per turn during your turn whenever you play an option. So it can make Night Raid free or any other stuff cheaper. For other Megas, we're playing 2 Belzimon. I originally had them at 3, but then I decided to switch my ratios with him and Piedmon. I played 3 Piedmon. Originally I was doing 3 Belzimon and 2 Piedmon, but there were times where I didn't need to see him as much, so I decided to switch to 2, and it was probably one of the best decisions I made, because I played this guy more than the Belzimon, because with Piedmon, not only did you have retaliation, so you can get rid of threats, you bring back 2 dudes, you can get a blocker, you can get Devimon, so you have another retaliation user, a rookie, or whatever. And then Belzimon is just a good card in general. If you had 10 or more in trash, you can just evolve him straight from Ipmon into him and pop a level 4, so you can get rid of their blocker or anything like that. And then for the 1 yellow card I play 2 copies of Magnadramon as my tech for this deck. It was either going to be this card or Volcanic Dramon, and I'm glad I went with Magnadramon. Magnadramon, I think, was clutch for me in the tournament. I played him about 3 times, maybe 4 times the entire time in the tournament, and it was definitely like game changing, except for against the Blue Omni player where I did that misplay, but it was still really good. And then for the last of the Megas, we played 2 level 7s, we played 2 Millenniumon, because we don't have access to an Omnimon just yet, but Millenniumon, he's not as good as an Omni, but he's the next best thing. You get rid of a threat, and then if you kill him, or if he dies, as long as he has at least 1 source, he comes back. So a lot of times what I did was I would just have him on field, I'd drop a Chimeramon, I'd pop my Millenniumon to kill something on their field, and then Millenniumon just comes right back. So it's basically like a Monster Reborn, for those of you that are familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! For the option cards, we're playing 2 Heat Viper. Heat Viper was something I had at 1 copy the night before the tournament, and I just wasn't seeing it enough, so I decided to bump it to 2 the night before, and I'm so glad I did, because this card, it's just dumb. Like, you get to pop 2 cards for popping one of your guys. It's just, again, you just, like Chimeramon, you pop one of your guys, that gives you a value off of it, and you get to kill 2 things. There's nothing better than that. It's really good, especially during my purple matchups, which I played against 3 purple decks that whole tournament, and this card was pretty much like the key card in that matchup for me. We're playing 3 Trump Swords. It's our downgraded Gaia Force, but it's a really good card. You destroy your opponent's active Digimon. That's the reason why we're not playing it at 4, because their Digimon has to be active. So they only have like 1 or 2 guys on field, and they're both rested when this gets checked. It doesn't do anything. Or if all of their guys are just rested, then again, this doesn't do anything. So when we're doing it at 3, so it doesn't clog too much. And then we play 3 Night Raids. This would be the other card that I would bump to 4 if I took out Lilithmon, either this or the Devimon, because this card is so free, especially once it's in your security and it gets checked. You just get a guy back for free. This card, it will always be played purple. This card is just too good. And then to wrap things up, we play 3 mats for your tamers. I don't usually play them unless I have something in my drop, but if my opponent's gonna memory choke me, I'll go ahead and I'll drop it early if there's something in there, just so that, because I mean, memory choking in this game, it's hurtful, especially against Ricky Russ. They're going to do it to you pretty much like every time. So yeah, I played 3. I think 2 is okay, but with 2, I never really saw it enough. So 3 copies was perfect for me. So
All right, very good. And we're going to be updating we're going to do an updated deck profile with 1.5 now that it's released.
Oh, yeah.
And
Gonna have a bunch more decks coming because just wait. Just wait.
all right, thanks guys. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.